Okay, we're live. Welcome to the Monkey Bar, episode 86. Today we're going to talk about a movie that we both watched.
We're gonna be yawning about Cloud Atlas.
Yeah.
Quote.
You say yawnering?
No, that's what he said. He says yarning.
Okay, yeah, because like the fucking made up dialect that they make. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but
It fucking makes sense, and I hate it.
yeah, it's like, well, to give background to this, my uncle suggested watching this movie. He said that he thought I would like it, and then I think that he was coming from a point where, because I talk a lot about writing with him and like all these ideas and like concepts I have for stories. So I think he got the idea that I would like the themes and ideas behind this movie. The thing is, like the plot is a real mess. I think I described it to you as like a clusterfuck that tries to pass itself off as being cluster erotica.
I noticed something.
Mhm.
It's not two things. I didn't have that much trouble with it.
Uh-huh.
I think because I didn't have trouble with stuff like, in hindsight, Big Fish. I didn't have fucking Memento, but like I think that I came into it expecting to be mind fucked.
Mm-hmm. And it really isn't that. It's still like,
I came in expecting, a series of stories that are interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
And they were.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what I got also, but I also didn't really get more than what I thought it would be. It's really just, to me, because like the idea is that this is a story, like a series of like 6 different time periods that all interconnect into one like narrative. The thing is, the narrative isn't really the important, like it's not the thing that takes like center stage. It's more just the concept of past lives being a thing. And like the overall message is, what you do in your life will affect like the whole universe, man. We're all just one grain of sand in a big universe, man.
No. What is a drop of what? What is an ocean but a multitude of drops?
Dropped, yeah. Like that's basically the summing up of the whole thesis of the movie. That line at the end, and yeah, it's an interesting idea. But the thing is, like,
I didn't try and focus on that as much as focus on each of the individual stories as they happened.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, individual stories to me, they weren't that interesting.
I noticed something. Here's what I noticed.
Mhm.
The farther they are in the past, the better they seem to be for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I
the
think that.
Neo Seal could just fuck right off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It won back around. I kind of like Tom Hanks as the post-apocalyptic man.
Yeah, it's and like him saying like that made up dialect. That's the real true. Like weird. It reminds me of Alan Moore. The Crossed series. That
Kind of.
like Alan Moore did a story that set in the Crossed universe that's set like 100 years after the psycho zombie apocalypse. And like he wrote this like future dialect specifically for like this society that's rebuilt itself. And the thing is, it got a lot of criticism. And like I read some of the pages, and it's just kind of incomprehensible, like the dialect that he makes up, because it's a neat idea, but the execution just, I think it alienates a lot of viewers or readers. And it's even worse for this movie because you're not reading it. You have to, unless you have subtitles on.
I had subtitles on.
Yeah, I should have had subtitles on because I couldn't understand what the fuck anybody was saying at that point. And also the Korea parts where all the actors are wearing yellow face.
Oh, that fucking got under my skin. And I think there was a little bit of blackface too.
Oh, where was that?
Not blackface. I'm not sure.
Oh, are you talking about the part in the 70s where the Asian actress like dresses up as the old Mexican lady?
Yeah, a brown face.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a.
Tell you what.
But the part where Hugo Weaving comes on Asian face, I'm just laughing my ass off because it looks so fucking bad. Like the love interest guy, he at least looks just kind of like a weird Asian guy, but like with Hugo Weaving, it's Hugo Weaving, and the parts where it shows like a close up on him, it's just so bad. Like you can tell immediately, and it just made me think of who was it, Mickey Rooney or Jackie Gleason in the Breakfast at Tiffany's. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you cannot keep a ring on my bell. I'm just picturing it. I'm just thinking like, you get off of my shitty walk, you Mongolians. Just like it looked like he was gonna like, and like he also has kind of the Asian accent too.
We are missing out on Cloud Atlas's weirdest casting and having an Egyptian Asian Keith David.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Where he looked like he was about to summon Set from fucking Conan.
Yeah.
But where the movie wasn't, Neo Seal was the worst segment.
Yeah.
I fucking loved the Cavendish parts.
Yeah. Like the Neo Seal part, like the problem I had is like it's probably where the most visual clusterfucks happen in the whole movie. Like the hoverbike chase sequence is so fucking disorienting.
You shouldn't have given this to the Wachowskis. I think the Wachowskis can do good stuff, but don't give it to the Wachowskis.
Yeah. Who would you want to have seen directed this?
The first thing I would do is I would give it to a director who is incredible. Stanley Kubrick. I don't know why. Someone extremely meticulous.
I would have said David Fincher.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I was just thinking of extremely meticulous directors.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if any of them would be willing to like take on the plot though. I think they would take a look.
Strikes me it would be much better. I was going the entire time. This has to be a fucking book. This has to be a fucking book.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, sure as shit it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Apparently, the screenwriter or the writer of the book, he went on to. I think he had a hand in the script. I think he did because he worked with the Wachowskis in some of their other scripts. I think he's also the co-writer of the new Matrix movie that's coming out. So there's that.
Yeah, like I actually, by the way, I do want to give props where props is due.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the first segment that they did about the boat, they had a Moriori, I think they're called. They're a Polynesian group, and I was fucking surprised at like, holy shit, they have a Moriori dude in a movie. I'm not sure he was played by a Moriori, but his character was.
It just made
they kind of got displaced by the Maori.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, there are like back on the plot. There's like some really huge gaping plot holes in this movie. Like the ones I can think of are well, the first one that I think of is how they like Tom Hanks in the future post-apocalyptic thing. He has that the Shadow Man like taunting him or whatever, and it's like that guy's never explained. Like it's never explained whether like Tom Hanks is he like just crazy or schizophrenic, or does he have radiation poison?
Just have a culturally seed devil.
Well, yeah, but like it doesn't make sense. Like, is it a real person or is it like just all in his head? Like it doesn't make any like from that point of view, it doesn't make any sense why you have a like devil guy like unless it's like supernatural shit. Because like there's that fortune teller lady who like her eye color changes when she's seeing the future. So, like, does magic exist in this version of the future? Or something I don't know. It's never explained.
Yeah,
like maybe it's explained in the book.
When you were talking about Yellowface, I thought you were joking about that character, and then Neo Seal happened, and I'm like, oh no!
Like that when the devil. I think his name is Old Georgie. Which I imagine like it's explained in the book who he is, but I kept thinking of like he looks like one of the fucking bad guys from Sock Baby, so I just kept calling him like because he looks exactly like the guys that get beat up in Sock Baby. So whenever he shows up, I keep
it's super southern.
Yeah, and the way he talks like the guys in Sock Baby, so I kept saying like Sham Bam Bamina whenever he shows up. It sounds like
What was really bothering me was the fact that Tom Hanks started out sounding more Southern than he ended up. I don't know what I mean by that, but still.
Huh.
God. But I did learn that Tom Hanks plays a probably pretty good villain.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's played a villain. I can't really list any of the other villain roles that he's played off the top of my head. I feel like he's played a villain before. I just can't remember what. The other plot hole was there's another one. It'll come to me. I don't know. Like this, like I kept like checking
I think the issue isn't that when you have something like this, it can't be about major plot. It has to be about character. It has to be about interesting character and interesting little short stories.
Yeah, none of them were interesting to me. I just didn't care about any of them. I can't remember any of their names.
Okay, here's what gets me fucking mad. I got way too invested in a couple of these.
Mm-hmm.
I got really, really interested in the Adam Ewing one, which was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the one following the it was the gay dude with the coronet. I liked
that guy
the
pissed
British
me off.
publisher.
Yeah, that guy pissed me off. Like he's like it like to me it came across as like a stereotypical like gay guy because like the whole like the major conflict comes from the fact that like the musician guy, the old musician guy, just doesn't return his advances. He's like, "What? Did you think I was gonna like have sex with you or something?" Like,
no, it's not just that. It's that he's also going to use that against him to steal the composition.
Yeah, it's like
that one.
It's like comes out of like, and also he like fucked his wife too before that. So, but they treat him as like he's the good guy.
Yeah, he's a scoundrel, but I kind of like that.
Yeah.
The one that I really, really liked though was the Timothy Cavendish, the Scottish dude.
Oh yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Is that because like that plot doesn't make any sense, or like there's a plot hole there because like the whole plot is that he like he's the publicist for that author guy who gets put in jail because he throws a critic off the roof, and his brothers come out after him for money, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to hide for a while," and the brothers never come up again. I thought that was going to like come up near the end, but apparently it's just like no, he just marries his lost love and lives happily ever after. And it's like, what happened to the guys who are after him for the money? Like it's never explained. Did they just get bored? Did they get bored of him? They forget?
I think they lost him because they tucked him away in a nursing home. They wouldn't check a nursing home, I think.
Yeah, but he returns back to his regular life. And I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like they would have tracked him down or something. It does make it, but that was like my favorite segments, like at the beginning of that part where, like I think it was where the Tom Hanks, the hooligan author, his book is failing because that critic panned him, but he throws the critic off the roof, and then immediately after he murders the guy. Yeah, and then his book becomes a bestseller because he ends up in jail because of it. And I thought that was like a really interesting. I think that could be a really interesting plot for an actual movie. But it's just like a really tiny segment.
Probably the weakest thing about the film is like you could split, I'd say, all of these, but Neo Seal and make interesting films out of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my problem. Is it feels like a bunch like somebody just took a scalpel to a bunch of like 6 different screenplays and just picked them apart and threw them in this big stew, I guess. And
from what I hear about the book, is the book ties them together a lot closer.
That makes sense, yeah. And people say, oh, but you have to watch this movie more than once. I'm like, fuck that. I
really liked this movie more than I was willing to. It started out as a rough watch, and then I started liking it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because it was kind of the opposite for me. It started off.
You have to understand, Tony. Consider what I watch. I watch movies where the average budget is a ham sandwich and a rubber suit.
Yeah, this movie cost, I think, $120 million to make. It was independently funded, and I think it was at the time the most expensive independent film ever made. But yeah, and I mean, if you like this, you'll probably love Terrence Malick films.
Oh, by the way, what I hated about Neo Seoul is every time that came up, my asshole clenched because I thought I was watching Jupiter Rising.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can definitely see some influence.
It was how they animated everything.
I know. Shannon. She brought up Jupiter Ascending when talking about. She watched Battle Angel Alita, and she's like, "Well, this is just Jupiter Ascending for men," and I'm like,
No,
I don't want to see. I don't want to watch Jupiter Ascending just to disagree with you. So I'm just gonna like leave this here because I never want to watch Jupiter Ascending. Jupiter Ascending always struck me as, like just whenever I see the previews or a review of it, it strikes me as like Twilight in space. So
that is an insult to the dark humor you can get from reading how shitty Twilight is.
have you ever read any of the books?
Tony, that was our fucking podcast at one point. You made me read the fucking books.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that was a while ago. That was like 2 years ago, I think, by now.
Oh my god.
Man, time flies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was just thinking today about like our old setup, when we had the recorders, and how I would have to just like constantly like chop up the audio and just to resync it because audio kept falling out of sync. But yeah, I mean this setup is more preferable. Yeah, and we'll be coming up on our 100th episode by the end of the year.
Man, we have to do something big for 3 digits.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to like meet up somewhere and like have even just a small audience would be great. I'm not holding my breath for that. We'll see what we can do. If you can come up with any ideas, then feel free to let me know. And that goes for you in the comments as well, our 0 viewers.
Yeah, certainly.
I think that YouTube is censoring us. I think it knows that we're naughty.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
I saw recently that Google has this thing in their, I think it's in their phones, is that it detects if you say the N-word. So like it detects, it has an algorithm that detects if you say like slurs, or if somebody around you says a slur, and it'll like identify you. And I'm like, back in the day, like there used to be like technical advancements used to be putting men on the moon. Now it's putting men in jail for saying the N-word.
Okay,
it's like, God damn it. Like I'm hoping that, like, I don't know how you feel about cancel culture, but
cancel culture is fucking bullshit. I don't really think it exists as much as people say it. I apologize. This is something I don't want to talk about. I had an extremely long argument about it.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to write up a little thing about it and post it out. I apologize.
Yeah, I think my opinions on cancel culture is, I think it's widespread, but it's not as effective as people think it is. I think that's,
what the thing is? You know how people always think it's the left of cancel culture?
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Yeah,
even fucking Mike Pence get in on it. Did you know that?
What?
Mike Pence is a cancel culture kind of guy. Did you know that he wanted to ban Mulan because it featured a woman with a sword?
Was that the original one or the new one that's coming out?
Yes. He hates all women in military. He hates gays in military. He thinks unless you have a dick and want to fuck a pussy, you shouldn't be allowed to fight and die. I apologize. If I sound heated, I'm not heated at you. I'm heated at my uncle who's like, this Mike Pence should be president.
I think it would. Never mind.
No, Tony. No, you haven't seen his policies.
I mean, never mind.
If you think censorship is bad now, sorry.
Yeah. Let's see. Jumanji. You want to talk about that?
Sure.
Like recently, I was thinking about it because I I don't know why. I think it was just this was just a shower thought. But when you think about it, I'm talking about the original Jumanji, not the video game new ones with Jack Black and The Rock.
I like the new ones, but the original is a different kind of beast.
Yeah, the original is kind of fucked up when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's it's basically like a kid gets like sucked into a board, and his best friend gets like traumatized and has to go through therapy for like the next 20 or 30 years, and this kid is trapped in this book for like, or the board for like 30 years, and he finally gets freed, and he's like this like crazy wild man played by Robin Williams. And it's like, and he finds out that his parents are both dead from basically grief over losing their son. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Like,
did you know that the hunter is played by the same actor who plays the father?
Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to represent the son's fear of his father and responsibility.
Uh-huh. Yeah, one thing I was wondering is like at the end where like it's weird how like when they revert back to their child selves and have to like like they're still like they still have all the memories of like the last 30 years, so they're still like they end up being like 40-year-olds in like teenage bodies and then having to grow up again. And like one thing I was wondering is like, do the kids in the future, or that were present or whatever, they like, it's implied that they still have like memories of that like parallel timeline, if I'm remembering correctly.
The Jumanji alternate timeline theory.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I imagine that there's like a timeline chart for Jumanji. Yeah, it's a weird movie. Like the 90s were weird for like family movies.
God, the 90s were just weird, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What?
If I sound out of it.
Yeah, I'm a little out of it too. But another movie I watched like a month ago, and I keep forgetting to bring this up until now, was I watched Scoob, the CGI Scooby-Doo movie.
I have a question. Someone spoiled something. Can I ask about it?
Yeah.
You saw it, right?
Yeah.
Is Dick Dastardly really the villain?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, I might need to watch it now.
Yeah, it's I mean, do you care if like I give my opinions on it? I don't know if I want to like
go ahead.
Well, it's mediocre. It's probably like one of the most forgettable movies I've seen in recent memory. Like I shit on Cloud Atlas, sure, but I feel like I'll remember it a year from now. Scoob, I remember like less than half of. I mean, it's not really a question of remembering it. It's more a question of like caring about it. It's like, it's just such a nothing movie. It feels like they just took, they wanted to do a Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe because Captain Caveman also shows up at one point. He's a major plot device. There's one of the like Blue Falcon is in the movie, Blue Falcon and Dynamite, and one of his sidekicks is one of the Teen Angels from Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels. I don't know why they keep like digging into Captain Caveman for like characters, but like
Godzuki.
Oh, that would be neat if well, I mean, again, this is going into like it'll be neat if such and such from Hanna-Barbera was in this new cinematic universe. But it's like, I don't know how you would and I don't think they knew how they were going to pull off a Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe, and then this might just fall through at this point because both COVID and it just seems like a really ill thought out like roadmap. A lot of these cinematic universes do, but yeah, and it's like, again, it's just such a, I don't know, it feels kind of like a cash grab. Yeah, one point that got brought up by there's a YouTube review I was watching, was how like Scooby-Doo has like too many lines in the movie. And when you think about like Scooby-Doo in the original like shows, he was more of like a silent cartoon character, like Tom and Jerry, or where he's like, he gives like limited lines. And but
I consider him a drum roll. He's
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the character that makes a funny face to like emphasize a joke. But in this, like, he's a fully fledged character, and it just really doesn't work for, you know. I don't know. They got Frank Welker to voice him. They didn't get him to voice Fred though, which kind of pisses me off. And also, there was a bit. I remember there was a big stink over them not getting Matthew Lillard to voice Shaggy, or Greg Delisle to voice Daphne. But like, especially Matthew Lillard, because he does the perfect Shaggy voice, and the guy they got to voice Shaggy in Scoob is just like, he doesn't really do it for a lot of people. It's just very,
like,
it's like,
you can tell that he doesn't smoke pot in the mystery van.
yeah. No, I wish that they would do like a director's cut of the James Gunn Scooby-Doo movie.
Like that movie sold me on the fact that they smoke pot.
Yeah, they were just smoking hot dogs in the mystery van, but we know what was really up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't recommend Scoob. I would like to hear your thoughts on it when you get around to seeing it, though.
All right. God, I actually have to. I just have to say one thing on that's at the end of my mind. Remember when Tom Hanks gets that eye patch for a little bit in Cloud Atlas?
Mm-hmm.
He looks like Thor in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah.
I'm yarning to fight his name is Thanos.
Uh-huh.
The fuck did he just say? He's having a stroke. Let him be, Loki.
Man, I was gonna make a joke about like there being a post-credit scene where old Tom Hanks is sitting on the beach and then Thanos crawls out of his asshole or something, and it all wraps around.
God, you know,
I don't know.
There should just be like he bends over and just the Infinity Gauntlet comes out. No, it has to be the yellow guy with the Infinity Gauntlet.
The yellow guy.
Old George.
Oh yeah, they're the gray. He was more gray, I guess. That's what made me think of Sock Baby.
The one that I thought you were referring to when you were fine, he looks like the guy from Sin City.
Or he looks like a Johnny Depp character.
Oh no, you know what he looks like? He looks like a bad Ron Perlman character. He looks like Ron Perlman played him in a Buffy episode.
Huh. Yeah, speaking of Sock Baby, I know that they actually got some Hollywood actors to be in. I think in the fourth Sock Baby, because they got Doug Jones to be the main bad guy in Sock Baby 4.
I need to watch Sock Baby.
Yeah, it's really good. It has really good choreography. And Doug TenNapel is the main bad guy, and like when he's in, like he shows up in his main fight scene is in the 3rd episode, and like Doug is like, I think he's like 6'7", so he has this like really imposing like Slender Man presence. So it's really cool seeing him. Like,
I had an idea of a shitpost character called the Blender Man. He's a fat Slender Man who just holds a blender. God.
What else did I watch? Clone High. I finished the first and currently only season.
How was it?
It was okay. I think my expectations were too high. Because people are like, oh, the first episode isn't that good, but the rest of the series is brilliant. And I'm like, and I watched like I'm sort of in the opposite end, where it's like I really like the first episode, and then because what the series does is it's like with the first episode, it builds everything up. The other 12 episodes focus on tearing everything down and being very meta. And sort of like poking a lot of fun at teen dramas. And the thing is, it tries to do both, poke fun at teen dramas, but also kind of dip its toe in being, serious character development, even though it's like, they're just going to yank the rug out from under you. It's kind of like some dickhead offering you like the can of peanuts, and he's like, open this can of peanuts, and you just know that there's like streamers inside. And you're like, I'm not going to open that. There's streamers inside. You've done this like several times before. And he's like, yeah, but it'll be funny if you do it anyway. And it's like, I don't know. It's that sort of meta, I guess. And I think it's hard to stomach after a while. So by the end, I was just kind of like, I think I'm good. I think I'm
Shows
done with
like
this.
that work better when you couldn't watch them on demand.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because, you know, Spider-Verse, Lord Miller went on to direct Into the Spider-Verse, and it's such a good movie. So I was kind of expecting that level of good Clone High, but it does feel like it is a pretty much a debut thing for them. So I imagine that the writing wasn't as polished. And I guess like Spider-Verse is a very different type of movie medium, whatever. It's not like focused on tearing everything, like being very meta. And I haven't watched 21 or 22 Jump Street yet. And I think that's, and yeah, I think I heard that 21 and 22 Jump Street just take jokes wholesale from Clone High. So that might just be, you know, how they write comedy in general, and less so like straight up, not serious movies, but you know, more focused movies. So I don't know. I'll have to watch 21 and 22 Jump Street just to get like a feel for like if it like is that like the bet is that they're like getting their bearings with Clone High, or is that just how they write comedy? So I don't know. But
Hey,
I would
yes.
recommend Clone High. It's despite all that, I think people, like a lot of people, seem to like it. So if you like really meta type of humor and like sort of screw the audience jokes constantly, then yeah, check it out.
I was thinking about working on, it's kind of My Hero, so it's Skunk Rock's universe.
Mhm.
It follows a therapist for villains and heroes who can't get work because they have shitty powers.
Mhm.
Guy walks in and he's like, I'm a 7-foot cane toad man who lives in Australia. Therapist goes, so what's the issue? He says, do you know how much fucking shit the Australians make out of cane toad lover?
Hmm.
Go to Etsy.com and type in cane toad into the search bar.
Hmm.
So, like, literally do this. You will get wallets. They will sell you the levers straight up.
That's interesting.
And I just want to picture that there's a 7-foot toad guy who lives in mortal fear of Australians.
And it's picturing there's a like wallet with just like a huge tire mark on it.
Oh, it's worse, Tony.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely.
So, no, I'll pull one up for you.
Mhm.
Like, I actually kind of want one of these. Now, you know when I want one, it has to be fucked up, right?
Mhm.
I'm not sure if I want one because I'm tacky.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
They sent a my
yeah.
suffering is pain. Stick
Mhm.
more coins up my ass. That's what it says.
Uh,
I think it's meant to.
Are you
Yes,
planning on submitting Skunk Rock to the Comicsgate wiki?
I am. I'm going to. I just need to. I'm trying to kind of learn how to write the wiki format.
Mhm.
It's weird to say that it's hard for me to write in a wiki format. You know.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You still have that drawing too from the comic convention.
I actually had the idea that I was going to try and scan it or at least save it and trace the outlines.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to try and color it.
Yeah, you don't actually have to trace the outlines. I think as long as you like have a filter or like an adjustment layer to get rid of the whites. I can't remember like exactly like the setting that you put in to like make the whites transparent and like so you can color the line arts. But there is a setting in Photoshop, Clip Studio, like most drawing softwares that let you do that. So I would like just look it up, and you should be able to find it pretty quickly.
Most certainly. Oh, so how is the comic gate thing going for you?
Good. I'm still working on the Cat Kids script. I hit a wall recently, and but I think that I'm finally starting to like push past it, because right now I'm writing the haunted house scene, like the I guess first mission with Cat Kid and Sam, and it's a scene that I'd had for a long time. I think ever since I'd gotten the idea to start the comic was to have it open with the haunted house scene, but now it's open with the detainment scene, and now it's the haunted house scene. But every time I write it, I always like hit a roadblock with it. So I'm not sure if it was like the scene itself that's the problem, or if I just need to look at it a different way. And I think that I think I mentioned this last episode, and I'd still been struggling with it. Is Sam's character is that he's very sardonic in this version. For a while, he'd been like the straight man, the very uptight and like stoic, and the by the book guy. And he still is by the book in this version, but he's definitely more like bases his personality a lot off of Willy Wonka now. So he's not really like eccentric, but he's definitely very sarcastic, but in a really dry tone. Whereas Cat Kid, he's very like extroverted with his sarcasm. So yeah, I'm just been playing around with that, and I feel like I'm in a better place now with where I'm at right now with the comic. The first issue should be done like fairly soon, but I feel like I said that last episode, so I don't know. I'm just going to try and power through it. Recently, I saw on Twitter, Doug TeNapel gave his advice on how he does comics, and he said it's for him, it's quantity over quality. And I agree with it. Now that I'm actually in the fray, is that you can't really focus. I mean, I've struggled with being a perfectionist for most of my career, I guess, finger quotes. And the reason that I've put out so little is because I'm like, this isn't good enough, this isn't good enough. But there is a point where you just have to say fuck it, just put it out there. You have to draw the line somewhere, and I guess the more you make, the faster you'll improve. So I'm trying to live by that example now.
Speaking of comics, I've been doing a thing where I've been making lists of small ideas for like short things. And what I do is if I can't work on one, I work on one, but I'm currently been thinking of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
My current idea is the setting is World War I, but with giant robots. Not really, but like it would be that sort of technological era. They're rebuilding after an apocalyptic event.
Yeah, would that be like, would that fall under diesel punk or steampunk?
Diesel.
Right.
And my favorite idea is that the mechs, they have a primitive AI. And my favorite idea is that they use wax cylinder gramophone style shit for basically they can answer basic vocal commands. They even have call signs. But this doesn't follow the good guys. To use Gundam, this doesn't follow the Rei Amuro. This follows the fucking, hey, who's that brightly colored guy who stands out with the energy sword?
Yeah.
I was thinking about calling it Grunt or something like 5-ton Grunt.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's definitely rolls off the tongue. 5-ton Grunt.
The one character I do have, the call sign for the mech is Solid Hog. They call it that basically because Guy was a pig farmer and he gets the most plating because his, it's the more frontward facing model.
Feels like there's a Metal Gear Solid joke that was at the Genesis.
I'm kind of ripping off Metal Gear's naming convention a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny bit.
I don't know if you've been keeping up to date with the SWC videos of why Metal Gear Solid sucks.
It's my guilty pleasure. I will always like Metal Gear a little.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like it has good gameplay still. That's what they've been saying.
I love the fucking insanity. Because my personal headcanon is that it's a story being told to a grandson by a fucking insane veteran.
Huh.
Pass me my mescaline.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I love Metal Gear Rising more than any of them, is because it's either they surrender any preconceptions of taking itself seriously, or the writer Kojima, I'm assuming. But did he write the story of Metal Gear Rising?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it was either that or they got somebody who just was so incompetent at writing a serious story that it just ended up being pure camp. I think it was more the former. Just they were trying to make it. They just abandoned any preconceptions of it being serious.
Do you know? Sorry.
I think that's what gets under my skin about the mainline Metal Gear Solid games, is just like you have all this crazy shit happening, but it's like a serious commentary on, like internet memes or whatever. And it's like,
the third one's the best in that regard.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I think they're bringing up this in the SWC video, is that once you start to question certain aspects of the plot, it starts to fall apart. Like, why did the boss defect, or why did she pretend to defect? Like, why?
Well, it was because her kid was being taken hostage. The whole plan was to basically die to get this limitless fund. I hate that I remember that. All I remember was the random fight with the bees guy.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So yeah, like, remind me, what was that about her kid? I totally forgot about that.
Remember the scar she has on her chest?
Right.
She had her kid surgically removed from her, but the kid was taken from her. So every time she went on a mission, she was promised to have her kid given back to her.
Uh-huh.
Her kid is Ocelot.
Right. So, and I guess that does raise a few more questions too. So, why, like what was her mission in the third one anyway?
Her mission was to steal something called the Philosopher's Legacy. I know this because Metal Gear 3 is my favorite of a series.
And to do that, she had to go past Vulcan?
Yes, because Vulcan would trust her near it. So she had to give him the nuclear.
So wait, why didn't she just snap his neck when he wasn't looking or something?
Because Vulcan would snap hers.
I mean,
Vulcan is...
but then in the game, you just blow him away as Solid Snake.
No, you don't.
Remind me what happens in that. How
you
does he
fucking fight him on a tank, and you don't even kill him. He's killed when he gets struck by lightning because a ghost killed him. Metal Gear 3, I think, is the last game that was really silly Metal Gear.
Yeah. It's yeah, that makes perfect sense.
No, I think SWC, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion,
Mm-hmm.
I'm allowed to fucking want to play a game where you fight a man who can spin up bees in a cave.
I mean, yeah, as long as you acknowledge that it's mostly stupid, it's fun, and
stupid fun.
Yeah,
I'm not. No, but you know what is one game I will stand every time?
Mm-hmm.
And
what?
It's fucking Spore.
Oh yeah, Spore. I remember having fun with that
it gets people creative.
Yeah.
I like games that do that.
Yeah, it'd be neat if they remade it or did a sequel to Spore.
I hope it's not done by EA. I hope it's not done by EA.
Oh, well, EA owns the shit out of it. They'll just pump it full of microtransactions. There's you want to unlock creature parts, you gotta subscribe for the season pass. I can definitely see them doing that.
God damn. That's why I'm glad modders has taken it over.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of modders, Half-Life Black Mesa, I played that. I finished that last night.
How was it?
It's good. It's really good. I remember for a while, I think it took them 5 years to do Zen, because for a long time when it was in the beta, they the beta stops right as you're jumping into the Zen portal, and you can see why it took them so long to do Zen, because most of Black Mesa up until then is pretty much a straight up remake of Half-Life, and with some extra little things here and there. But Zen, it feels like a real expansion, like a full expansion to like that part in Half-Life. It's probably like 5 times longer than the original Half-Life levels, and it's really good. And they actually like do some really neat stuff. The long jump module is like totally fixed. I remember that being like really frustrating to handle in the original Half-Life. Or I never played. I played Half-Life Source, which is the Half-Life redone in the Source engine. I know some people hate Half-Life Source and that it doesn't work for them, but when I played it, it didn't. I had no problems with it. I want to say it had something to do with the because I remember when I first played Half-Life Source, it was in the big clamshell, the orange box before the orange box, which it was Half-Life Source, Half-Life 2, and Half-Life Episode 1, like all the CDs, the physical CDs in the clamshell. And but yeah, when I played Half-Life Source back then on my mom's shitty Dell computer, it didn't give me any problems. But apparently nowadays people are like, oh, there's so many glitches in Half-Life Source. But going off of that tangent, the Half-Life Black Mesa really fixes a lot of stuff in that segment of the game. The final boss with the Nihilith is also like, it feels like a real boss battle. It's like astounding because I can't really think of any first-person shooters off the top of my head in recent first-person shooters that do boss fights really, really well, except for maybe Doom 2016, Doom Eternal. I haven't played Doom Eternal yet.
I actually, yeah. Can I tell you about one of the bosses they have? You know that guy with the axe that's in all the trailers?
And the Marauder.
Yeah. Marauder fucked my shit up. Marauder's he's the Doom Slayer of the demons.
Ah.
I apologize.
Yeah. There's also there's even some world building stuff in the Black Mesa version of Zen. Like there's a Vortigaunt village that's not in the Half-Life, like the original, which is really cool. The Vortigaunts actually don't attack you at that stage in the game because they're just sort of that whole level like gives them a lot of like character that sort of bridges the gap between Half-Life and Half-Life 2, with the Vortigaunts being the allies, which I love Vortigaunts, so that's a really cool like touch that they had. And like the G-Man's voice actor they tried with him. I want to say that actually, and this is going to sound really wild, but the voice actor that they got in Hunt Down the Freeman for the G-Man actually did a better job than the guy in Black Mesa. But he was really good in the Hunt Down the Freeman, aside from the whole Black Mesa line.
I have never played Half-Life, but through my friendship with you and like 8 other people, I have learned like a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. I would say that if you're going to play Half-Life for the first time, play the original. I wouldn't recommend Half-Life or Black Mesa for starters, because like the analogy I would come up with is that Half-Life, or I keep saying Half-Life Black Mesa, might as well, but Black Mesa is like a really, really good cover of a really good song. I think of the Flaming Lips did a cover of Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's one of these covers that like is, beat for beat the same song, but just like with really high quality instrumentals and stuff that they didn't have back in the 70s. It's all like digital music equipment that makes it sound really, really good, but it's still not the same song. It's not the same as remastering the song. It's a different band covering the song, and it sounds really, really good, but it's not the original. So I would recommend, if you play Half-Life, the original, not the source version, but the original, and and you have a bad time with it, then I would say play Black Mesa and give it another shot. Like another problem I have with Black Mesa is the soundtrack. It's kind of overblown. It's kind of a little self-indulgent, or I don't even know if self-indulgent is the right word, because it's sort of like fanfare for the original. It's not like it's completely new tracks, but Yeah, it's not the same as the original Kelly Bailey score from the original Half-Life. It's kind of like more orchestral, and I don't really think that fits Half-Life that well. I prefer the techno and ambience of the original.
You know what I always like? When I was a kid, let me rephrase that. Wow, I'm fucking having a stroke. I liked when I got older when I started to realize what the fuck a motif was in games.
Mm-hmm.
I like when you start to learn what stuff like that. Like talk what you will about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Whenever they showed that fucking rib bone, they played a little bit of the Indominus Rex theme, just a little taste of it, and stuff like that. Or in Godzilla, King of. Could I jump on Godzilla soundtrack for a moment?
Sure.
Godzilla King of the Monsters is probably the greatest fucking soundtrack of a modern monster movie I've seen. Probably even a modern movie of the last couple of years, in my opinion. It has like when they do the King Ghidorah thing, they have Buddhist chanting. They have a Babylonian prayer for Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
They mix it up. It's cool. I like it when they play with music in games and movies, you know?
Yeah. I think one of my favorites is Near Automata, how they do music in that.
Oh, God, I need to get that soundtrack.
Yeah, it's really good. I like how they have a different version of each of the themes. I like how they have, for like the hacking mini games, when you play as 9S, they have the 8-bit versions of the orchestral soundtracks when you like shift into that mode and then back again. I really love it when video games do like dynamic stuff with their music.
Doom Eternal has something like that. Every combat theme has a version for when they crank it up to a 12.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
I think that's like called using stems in music. I'm not that familiar with how like doing music in software like FL Studio or anything like that works, but I know that they also did that in Half-Life Alyx, where as the situation becomes more intense, then they layer on more instruments to that track.
God. Hey, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You think if they ever really made giant mechs or robots, do you think that they would be like really well upkept, or do you think it would be like most times when we get big fancy toys and they kind of languish until the funding gets kicked around?
I think it would be like, look at Navy battleships or submarines, how like those get maintained. Like they're probably not. I mean, I don't know how those get maintained or how well those are kept up to date. How many barnacles the USS Indianapolis had, or no, that's out of commission. Whatever. Any recent Navy battleship has, but yeah, I can imagine the same being with if we ever had giant robots. Probably just cleaning up bird poop off the shoulders.
You know, if America ever made a giant robot, we would have to give it a flag spear. It would be a spear that when you swing it, it creates the American flag of the trail.
Sounds like something that would be in G Gundam.
God. Wasn't G Gundam the one that had the fucking African Gundam with the giant zebra skin?
Yeah, and it had like the Mexican space station being a giant sombrero.
Oh my God. G Gundam. I'm sorry. It's what the fuck, Gundam?
Yeah, most other cultures they loved seeing it like that. Like Mexicans they love Speedy Gonzales. Like everybody here thinks it's racist, but they just love seeing Speedy Gonzales.
I have a Mexican friend. It depended on how you brought up Speedy Gonzales.
Mm-hmm.
He liked watching it. He didn't like being called Speedy Gonzales.
Right. Yeah. Same with saying the N-word. When you call somebody the N-word, then you're probably going to get killed. But if you say it out loud in the privacy of your own home, then Google will send the police to your doorstep to kill you instead.
They're not going to send the police to you. They just use the monitor
to
make sure.
They don't own the police yet.
Oh, God. If they own the police, we probably get less brutality.
Well, it's going to be Google's private security team. Once the police are all defunded, then the corporations are going to take over as protect the protectors of the rich.
Honestly, if we had corporate police, to be honest,
We already do.
I would hate. Well, yeah, we're already fucking corporate tools, to be honest. I mean, I'm sorry. It's like
this episode got dark all of a sudden.
Let's be honest. I'm sorry. I have really, 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 really poor view of the world at times. But on a happier view.
Oh, I read Walmart, the third chapter, I guess final chapter.
Oh, how is it?
It's good. The Magalorian, and yeah, it's really good. I liked it a lot. Very funny, very like topical, very insightful to the current political climate. And it's goofy fun on top of it all. I'm still waiting for my physical copy, which I think is going to be shipped out at the start of next month. Or sometime soon. I don't know. I haven't gotten an email yet from Tim and Mark, but I'm looking forward to getting both of those because I ordered 2 books, one for me and one for the library. Library is not accepting donations yet due to the virus, but once they do, I'm going to be first in line. So yeah. Also, I saw that Preston Poulter just put up or there's going to be a campaign that he's launching for, I guess, this exclusive, where he's like doing 100 issues, like a limited supply thing for this one comic. I think it's starring one of his characters. I'll have to look this up real quick because I don't know, but yeah, he's doing a campaign as well. I don't. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Oh, yeah, and then there's another thing by Fresher Luke, who's another one of the new Comicsgate TM posse. I don't know if he's part of this circle. I don't know. I see his name get brought up from time to time, but he's doing a Indiegogo for Kickstarter for something. I can't remember what. Again, this is a kind of a slapdash thing, so you'll have to forgive me while I take some time. Yeah, quick. Talk about something while I stall for time.
Fuck. I don't know what to talk. Did you know that I recently found out the creator of one of my favorite mangas and anime of all time also created a manga and anime that killed it? Acel World was created by the guy who made Sword Art Online, and he had the fucking audacity to put Kirito in an issue of a manga.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking pisses me off.
Oh yeah, I found it. It's called Forsaken Gods, and it looks really cool. I really like how the art looks. I'll link it in the banner right now. Yeah, it's a really cool looking book. Let me just put it right down here. And yeah, it's he's already more than halfway to his goal. The art looks great. And it sounds like a cool plot too.
Oh snap. Oh fuck me, I love this art style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks kind of like what I've been planning to do with Cat Kid, or most like some of my other art projects. And that should be cool. I wish him the best of luck.
Hard same. I like the big Skull Knight dude.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And that's all I have to say about that. It's a little hot in here, so that might be frying my brain right now. I'm trying to save money on the air conditioning so I can save up for a new graphics card. I also ordered a and the ARM mount for my drawing tablet, which is why the thumbnail for this current episode was done strictly with a mouse. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but
I mean, it looks fine.
yeah.
I've been drawing with a mouse recently.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, there's something like sort of it's a nice change of pace. Even if it does look like scribbly and awkward, it's still like something new. And I think I think it's easy to forget that, especially when you're like doing art on a deadline, to like, just have a little bit of fun with how you do things. Same goes for anything creative. You gotta be creative being creative. Otherwise it's just, working from a set template, and there's nothing much creative about that. Let's see. Anything else you want to talk about?
Just a random thought I was working on for 5-ton grunts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that in mech warfare, I'm just wondering this. Do you think the mechs would get bigger or faster? I'm just wondering what the meta would be.
Like in regards to what again?
In giant robot warfare, would it be like speed or juggernauts? The armored ones.
I imagine, like, realistically, probably armor.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of like fast moving, like giant robots, but I see it more as being like a Pacific Rim scenario in real life, where it's like these huge plotting things. Reminds me, of being to check out. I'm hoping it's still on Netflix. Is SS Gridman, where they take the sort of the like influence from like Ultraman and live action giant monster robot shows and put it in an anime or CG anime form. But
Ooh.
yeah, I remember hearing about it a while back, and like the one thing that people were latching on to was the design of that one girl character with the fat ass, and then everybody stopped talking about it. I can't remember if it was like those her thighs. So whatever. Same, like thighs are like connected to the ass, so whatever. But yeah, people are like, "Oh, waifu of the month," and then the month ended, and they're like, what's like the next one?" And everybody forgot. I don't know if it was just like a limited series or if they're doing another season, but
probably limited.
I remember.
Shibuya.
Yeah, I remember here. Was that Studio Trigger that did that?
Yeah, but yeah.
Like I said, I remember. Like it seems like every like big anime that gets a lot of attention comes from Studio Trigger. I think their new one. Oh, yeah, it was BNA. They jumped on the furry anime bandwagon, where it's a raccoon girl falls in love with a wolf boy or something. Or it's like a girl who gets cursed to turn to a raccoon girl, and then like she teams up with some other characters who also turn into animal creatures. Haven't checked that out, but it's on Netflix. I haven't really watched a lot of anime lately. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I just don't have time for anime.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on writing.
Yeah, me too.
It's
easy to get distracted.
Yeah.
Actually, just today, I sort of deleted my Facebook. I set unlisted or blocked my Facebook, so where it's like it's basically deleted to everybody who's like out on the outside. If I have to, so like I didn't want to like I have like a bunch of pictures and stuff on there that I scanned in, and I think those are on my hard drive. I was going to check, but yeah, just for like archival purposes, I just have it archived, and just like I wasn't sure about like completely deleting it, but if I ever find myself getting sucked back in, then I'll just delete it completely.
I plan to, if I ever delete my Facebook, my last post being, I have information that will lead to the arrest of Roger Step.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I showed you that one screenshots of this like this 4chan board. It was apparently this guy who worked for Jeffrey Epstein as a bodyguard, and he's just giving his whole like confessional on like and saying like how he was on the like he was like taking like he patrolled the island at one point and just like seeing all this like fucked up shit going on, and like just him. Like in talking about how he worked for Mitt Romney and his son killed a hooker and they had to like bury it out, and they like gave coordinates to where he buried the body.
Honestly, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Do you trust 4chan for? It's a 50-50 coin.
Like, do you think somebody would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
I don't know. The internet's supposed to be for the truth.
Yeah, it's probably 50-50.
But the more you talk about Epstein, as soon as they said Romney and the hooker, I'm like, yeah, no. No, that's less and less likely. But I'm not saying it didn't happen.
That was Mitt Romney, not Jeffrey Epstein. He said like he said it was when he got transferred to work for the Romney family.
Yeah, I'm saying, but like when he said that, yeah, the Mitt Romney son thing, definitely, that just made me go, yeah, no. Yeah, I'm starting to lose faith in that story.
Yeah, and like the coordinates he gave are like right off the side of this dirt road. And it doesn't make any sense why they wouldn't like take the body out into like the middle of the woods.
Fucking Jeffrey Epstein's rich enough to buy a vat of acid and shoot it into space.
Mm-hmm. Or he was.
Or was.
Because he's fucking dead and in hell now.
God, he's in hell with the Koch with one of the Koch brothers.
Is one of them dead?
Yeah.
Huh.
Fucking good riddance. Excuse me. I apologize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, it's probably a fake story, but it was a really interesting read. It would make a really cool novel.
Yeah, no, you know what I had the idea for Smokes? I had the idea of telling a story about someone who has to work under Capstone's authority. Because Capstone likes to paint itself as, we're the last sheriff, sort of deal. But then Capstone's the kind of group that would line someone up like Smokes and beat them to death just to instill. They persecute mutants so that there's a boogeyman everyone can rally behind, even when raiders aren't a common threat.
Yeah. But yeah, you said that you're working on just the giant robots.
The 5-ton grunts.
Yeah. And I wish you luck with that. I'm just going to be chipping away at Cat Kid for the next month or so. Hopefully I'll have a lot done by then. Once I finish this first chapter, which may be a little bit over 24 pages, I'm trying to keep it like around that number just for the sake of, if I like need to print single issues. I would prefer not to do that though. Like I prefer to just have like 12 issues put online and then take all of those and put them in a book. But I guess we'll see what happens with that. I'll be working on that. Anything else you want to talk about before we go?
Not really, no. I think this is a good episode.
It's a good point to wrap up. But until next time, I've been Tony.
I've been Zach.
This has been the Monkey Bar.